Hello and welcome back once again to another movie review. Um, so I was going to go see Prisoners today. However, today is the day that The Hobbit 2: Desolation of Smaug opens. So the theater here, for some reason, whenever they get a new release, they like to put it in all of their theaters and get rid of everything else. So Prisoners is no longer at the theater. However, Desolation of Smaug didn't start until midnight tonight, so they did still have a couple things, but Prisoners has been removed. Actually, I think Prisoners got replaced by whatever the new Medea movie is. So if you think I'm going to see that, you're fucking nuts. And if you don't know why, go watch my review of Peoples and Temptation, and you'll get the gist. Anyway, so looking at what movies they still had playing, Prisoners was gone, and the only other thing there that I haven't seen is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, which I had planned to go see back when I was still working at the other theater. However, that came out shortly after I stopped working there. So, yeah, it's been out for a while, but I'm just now getting around to seeing it. So, if I watched it, I'm going to do a review on it. Even though it's been out for a couple months, most of you have probably seen it. It'll probably be out on DVD in another week or two. Anyway, so Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. It wasn't a bad movie as much as it was a pointless movie. It's been a while since I've seen the first Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and it being a children's movie, it is what it is. But the first one I kind of liked, from what I can remember of it. It was a decent little kids movie. Had sort of an interesting concept. So the sequel seemed unnecessary to me. I thought the first one wrapped up everything kind of good by the end. It really didn't need anything else, but they decided to make a sequel of it anyway. So now I'm going to get into the premise of the movie, so again, if you don't want spoilers, jump ahead towards the end. So it starts out pretty much right where the first one left off, but it's like they just kind of shoehorned in this new angle. So from what I remember, the old one, it ended with them getting ready to clean up the town. If I remember right, the credit sequence had like a little animated thing of them like rebuilding the town or whatever. I could be wrong, it's been a while since I've seen it. But this one starts right when they're getting ready to rebuild the town, and all the giant food is still laying everywhere, and this other scientist comes in. It kind of recaps the main scientist, how's his name, Flint or something, whatever. It kind of recaps his story of when he was little, his mom giving him the lab coat, whatnot, and it shows him idolizing this other TV scientist. So that TV scientist is apparently some big celebrity who actually invents stuff in this world. I don't remember. I don't think he played a big part in the first one, at least not that I remember. So he shows up, and he's going to help clean up the town. He's going to move everyone out. His crew's going to clean up the town, rebuild it, and then bring them back in. So everyone's like, well, we can help. And they're like, no, it'll go faster if I just let my crew do it. So everyone leaves the town. Several months go by, and they're still not back in the town, so everyone's getting a little pissed off at the guy. But they're like, whatever. So Flynn actually goes to try and get a job with the company, which they actually offer him the job. And it turns out it's to keep him out of the way because they want the machine that makes food. So it comes up that all these different teams that they keep sending to the island to try and find this machine keep disappearing. So the scientist finally says, Flint's getting kind of nosy at this point, want to know why, the island's not cleaned up yet. So they're like, well, we got to get rid of them, so let's tell him what's going on, and we'll send him into the island to retrieve the machine for us. So he gets his group together, they go to the island, find out that not only did the machine reactivate itself after they turned it off, it's been creating living food, which they said it was doing at the end of the first one, but I don't really remember that. I remember it creating giant food, but I don't remember any of it becoming sentient, but it might have. I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a while since I watched that one. So they find out that it's been creating all this living food. So all the other people in the group are like, this is kind of a miracle. We shouldn't tamper with this. We should just kind of leave it as is. Or if we're going to rebuild this island, we need to try and rebuild around the food animals. So, but Flint's like, no, I gotta get the machine. Kind of being an idiot, basically, for someone who's so smart. He's kind of dumb. So by the end of it, he figures out that the other scientist is just using him to get his hands on his machine, and he realizes that they do need to value the life there. So then there's a little battle between everyone, and of course, it being a kids' movie, the good guys always win. Flint defeats the evil scientist guy and realizes that he was better off without him if he would have stuck with his friends and whatnot. So he gets the machine back in place, turns it back on, is back to creating living food animals. The people do come back into the town and start rebuilding. It shows this again in the ending credits as a little like single cell animation thing, but it shows them like rebuilding the town around the animals, and like the animals are all friendly now. So yeah, that's pretty much the movie. It really served no purpose to further the story. I don't know why they had to make this one. It would have been better off just leaving with the first one. It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, I wasn't bored, but I wasn't really super entertained either. I was just kind of watching it like, okay, I get that, but why? So yeah, as far as the star rating will go, I can't really give it a bad rating because it wasn't a bad movie as much as it was a pointless movie. It really didn't offer anything. So I don't want to give it a low rating because it wasn't bad, but I don't want to give it a high rating because it wasn't good. So unfortunately, again, I think I'm going to have to drop it with a 3. It's going to be right in the middle of the road. Because of the pointlessness of it, I'd probably move towards a lower end 3 as opposed to like a dead center 3 or a high 3. It's going to be at the lower end of the 3. Again, if I did half ratings, I'd probably do like a 2.5, but it's a 3. I've seen better movies. I've seen worse movies. I've seen better and worse sequels to movies. For example, Monsters University. It was okay as its own movie. I don't think it necessarily had to be a sequel to Monsters University, or at least not of the same characters. But I talked about that on Monsters University. So, but yeah, this one just had no real purpose. Not much more to say about it. So that's audio of Chance of Meatballs 2. Since Prisoners isn't out, and nothing else is really playing at the theater now other than the Medea movie and The Hobbit 2, the next thing I probably watch will be The Hobbit 2. I'm not sure when I'm going to watch it. Hopefully within the next couple weeks or so, depending on when I have another early shift. So the next review you see from me as far as a movie review will probably be The Hobbit 2. Other than that, I'm not sure when we'll get around to filming next. CES is coming up in January, so I'll have some stuff from that. Other than that, I'm still getting settled back in here. So it's going to be a while before I have anything much more than what I have now. But yeah, so that's it for this episode. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you at the movies.